Well, yesterday we had really big news and a massive announcement from Disney Cruise Line regarding one of their largest ships yet. Stay tuned to find out more. What's going on, everyone? My name is Brandon. If you like cruise news, cruise vlogs, and ship tours, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and hit that notification bell to be notified every time we upload a new video. We have 3 to 4 videos a week, so we got a lot of content here for you on the channel. But enough of that, let's go ahead and get started. As a quick wrap up of the eventful construction of Global Dream began construction in 2018 for Genting Hong Kong, a Chinese cruise line that filed for bankruptcy in early 2022. Genting Hong Kong not only owned Dream Cruises, the cruise line set to operate the Global Dream, they owned Star Cruises, Crystal Cruises, and MV Werften, which is a shipyard building this 200,000-ton ship. So not only did they own the cruise line, but they also owned the builder of this ship. So couldn't catch a break here on that. As the months passed and the search for a buyer began, the shipbuilder Meyer Werft stepped in and purchased the shipyard MV Werften. Meyer Werft has built some of the best ships in the industry. Just for a few references, they built the Quantum class ships from Royal Caribbean, the Breakaway and Breakaway Plus ships from Norwegian, and the Disney Dream class and the Triton class, which is the Wish, Treasure, and a third unnamed ship so far. So those are some pretty highly rated ships and some of the best quality ships out there in the industry right now. So, and that's just from their Germany shipyard. Meyer Werft also is in charge of Meyer Turku, which built the original Oasis and Allure. They're building the Mardi Gras and the Celebration, and even building Icon of the Seas. So lots of incredible ships coming out of these shipyards owned by Meyer. So once the shipyard itself was purchased, eventually out of left field, here comes Disney swooping in last fall to purchase the half-finished cruise ship. Disney honestly was the last company I expected to jump in on this one, but at the same time, I didn't really know who would jump in on this one given the nature of this project. One original concern I had with the ship was that it had a 9,000 passenger capacity on board, which for a ship smaller than Oasis and considerably smaller than Icon of the Seas, that's an extremely high number of passengers, as Icon of the Seas holds roughly 7,000. And Icon is significantly larger than Global Dream, sitting at about 250,000 tons rather than Global Dream's 208. But since that purchase from Disney has been made, they did announce that they are going to reduce this number from 9,000 down to 6,000, which is far more reasonable, and I'm glad they're doing that. Another thing I noticed recently in their announcement yesterday is that when they first announced the purchase of the ship, there was going to be 6 funnels on board, which they always like to mimic the 2 ocean liner, or like the 2 smokestacks of an old ocean liner. That's why we see those on all of the previous ships. But given the size of this ship, there was originally 6 on this rendering that they first showed off. During the announcement yesterday, it looks like they have made some changes to the ship, and so far, even with it being halfway finished still, they now have 4 funnels in the rendering, so it looks like they're maybe reducing that a little bit. Looks a little bit better in my opinion. I think those 2 front ones may just end up being some suites like they have on the front stack of Disney Wish. Disney's always had a really big presence in the Asia tourism market, with several theme parks over there that are wildly popular, and it's only expected for Disney to have their eye on this area and this market when it comes to their cruise line. The Asia cruise market was booming pre-COVID, with multiple major new ships heading that way. Norwegian Joy in 2017, although she was pulled out before COVID. Spectrum of the Seas in 2019, and original plans for Wonder of the Seas, the current world's largest cruise ship, was to go over to Asia as well. Now, given COVID, that didn't happen, and the market over there is not quite as strong as it once was, but it still exists, and it's still a very big market for Disney themselves, even if other cruise lines aren't very big over there. So with all that rambling out of the way about the ship itself, Disney Cruise Line announced, as expected, or at least as I expected, with everything I mentioned earlier in consideration, the Global Dream project will sail from Asia, specifically Singapore, and they'll capitalize on that long-desired Asia cruise market Disney has been eager to get into. There were no specifics on what type of itinerary she's going to be sailing from there, but they did announce their plan is a 2025 launch, which is for this troubled construction process for the ship right around the corner. Global Dream was originally slated for a 2020 launch, and 5 years later than expected, here she is emerging as a Disney ship, or getting ready to emerge as a Disney ship, the last thing anybody expected. She will, of course, then be the largest Disney cruise ship in the fleet by far, given that the Triton class, the Disney Wish Treasure, is only around 140,000 tons, 145 or so. So significantly larger than anything else Disney's ever built, and still one of the only few ships that have exceeded that 200,000 ton mark. The Oasis class and now Icon class will be the only ones from Royal Caribbean, and they're the largest in the world as of right now. And other than Royal Caribbean, MSC only has one ship, which they have more coming. But as of right now, MSC is the only other cruise line to hit 200,000 tons from a cruise ship. So it's a pretty remarkable feat and pretty exciting, and just overall really, really cool for Disney Cruise Line to have a ship of this size. When a ship starts to hit 200,000 tons, those things are monsters. The Oasis class is massive. The Icon's going to be ridiculous. So this is going to be one very big ship for Asia and just for Disney Cruise Line in general. There is no word of the name for this new ship. One thing that is confirmed, though, is that the casino will be removed, which was kind of expected. Disney Cruise Line doesn't have a casino in any of their ships, just because, that family-friendly atmosphere. They don't want gambling on board. The original plan on Global Dream was to have a roller coaster. Not only that, the longest at sea, so no word if that concept is going to stay or if that concept was scrapped. We'll just have to see as we learn more information about the ship over the next 2 years. Over the next 2 years, as we get closer and closer to launch, the final, 24 to 18 months of the ship's construction is when we get all of the news of where it's going. So now we have a home port. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a name for this thing soon, probably the next couple months. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a name for Triton 3 sometime this year as well, as Triton 3 is supposed to come out in 2025 as well, alongside the Global Dream. Disney Treasure is the second in that Triton class, so a sister ship to the Disney Wish is set to launch next year in 2024. Homeport is currently unknown at the time, but I'm assuming we'll probably get that news pretty soon, so we have a ton of news coming from Disney Cruise Line over the next couple months to a year. My guess personally would just be that it's going to come to Canaveral and either swap in for the Wish, and Wish goes to 7 days, or they'll swap in with the Disney Fantasy and put the Treasure on 7 days. Not really sure. That's just a guess. And maybe then maybe Fantasy will go down to Fort Lauderdale. But that's set to happen next year. The third Triton class is also set to launch in 2025. Name unknown, home port unknown as well. So we'll get more on that one soon. And then, of course, Global Dream is set to launch alongside Triton 3 in 2025. I'm excited to see this ship, although it's probably something I won't ever get to sail on just because of where it's going to be located. I probably won't be taking the trip out to Singapore to sail on that ship, but I am very eager and very excited to see what they do with this, given how ambitious this project is for Disney Cruise Line. It was a very cheap entry point for them at around $30 to $40 million to purchase the ship, even though it is going to take a few $100 million in order to get it up to Disney standards and get it turned into a Disney ship overall. So even with the high renovation costs and conversion costs, it is going to be still a pretty cheap project for them, given that Global Dream itself was well over $1 billion to build. Have you sailed on Disney Cruise Line before? Let me know down in the comments below. I sailed on the original Magic and Wonder whenever they first launched in 1998 and 99. So I was very little at the time, but I have sailed on Disney Cruise Line before. I hope to do it soon. There's a pretty good chance I'll be sailing on Disney Wish later this year. So very excited for that. I have been wanting to go on Disney for a long time again. But anyways, let me know down in the comments if you've been on a Disney cruise or if you're excited for this Global Dream project to come to life. And with that, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoy cruise news, cruise vlogs, and ship tours, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, and we'll see you in the next video.